So we got two NBA talks today. The first one here discussing the top 5 players in the NBA right now. Later on, we're going to be talking about Derrick Rose and his career. And both videos is also going to have a little channel update thingy at the end of them. So there you are. Top 5 players in the NBA. We're about 12 games into this season. Might as well talk about it. I would say I'm pretty confident about 4 of the names that I'm going to say are in the top 5. Let's start with the obvious one, Steph Curry. He's been the best player in the league so far, and if you've watched any random Warriors game, you can just see that this guy is a freaking video game. He shoots like 8 threes a game, and he's shooting over 40%. Like, that's just stupid, okay? Del Curry should be ashamed of himself for giving birth to this basketball robot. Like, what the hell is your problem, Steph Curry? Anyway, yeah. LeBron James, because he's LeBron James, I'm really feeling the mustache, LeBron. The mustache is on point. I don't know where you got the idea from, but I like it. You know, he just turned like 30, 31, I believe. I think that's about time to bring the mustache in. And the Cavs have been fantastic, even without Kyrie in the lineup. They've looked good, and they're embracing Kevin Love more, which I do appreciate. LeBron's still awesome, even if he kind of picks his spots a little more than he once did, but that's cool. Russell Westbrook, I would say. The thing with the Thunder is Durant has, of course, already hurt again. I think he'll be fine eventually, but with all these sort of ticky-tack injuries, it's kind of tough to put Durant in there because we haven't seen him consistently on the floor being Kevin Durant. So as a result, it's like, well, you kind of got to throw Westbrook in there, you know? And he's earned it. I mean, his percentages have actually been better this season. His production has been similar, around, you know, high 20s, nearly a triple-double like last year. But this time, his percentages are really solid, I think. They're like around 44%, which, given his play style, I'll take it. And I think he's shooting like 33, 34 from 3, so shout out to Westbrook. He's still doing his thing, even if my Celtics kind of gave him a headache and Marcus Smart played a better game, but whatever. Number 4, Boogie! Demarcus Cousins. 27 and 11, hitting 3-pointers. I love DeMarcus, man. I just love this guy. The Sacramento Kings are my League Pass team, and it's beautiful. It's the most entertaining thing going on in the NBA right now. If you see the Kings stats when DeMarcus is on the floor versus off the floor, it's night and day. I mean, if that guy's not playing, just chalk it up to a loss. But if he's in there, they can beat anybody on any given night. Now, of course, they might pull a stinker, but at the same time, Boogie's just great. He's just fantastic. And I think we might as well discuss a couple of the guys who were labeled as top 5 players last year who are not in there now. James Harden. The percentages are horrible. His teammates are mad because he doesn't give a crap. Of course, we know what just happened with Kevin McHale. It's just, you know, his production is very similar. 27 points, 5 or 6 assists and rebounds, but those percentages are ugly, man. Under 40% last time I checked from the field. Under 30% from 3? What's going on, man? It's just not James Harden, and his defense has gotten back to levels of being terrible, because he was actually okay last season. So, I mean, it's the Kardashian / Little B curse, and it's just what it is. And then also Anthony Davis. What the hell, dude? 1-11? The New Orleans Pelicans are 1-11? I thought these guys were going to be a clinch for like the 6th seed in the West. I thought they were going to be approaching 50 wins. Now, granted, that roster around Anthony Davis isn't great, but like, he was able to carry them last season to the 8th seed, so I figure you just get a little better. But I'll admit, I haven't seen many Pelicans games, but I see Anthony Davis's numbers. Those have gone down. Granted, they're still pretty damn good, but they've gone down. And Alvin Gentry, he's getting a lot of flack from Bob, which means he's probably terrible. I haven't seen them, like I mentioned, but what the hell, dude? And so now, for this top 5 players, we have Steph Curry, LeBron James, DeMarcus Cousins, and Russell Westbrook. The 5th guy, who is the quote-unquote 5th best player in the league right now? I think it's really down to about 4 names at this moment. And those 4 guys are Andre Drummond, who's been an absolute monster on the boards. This guy is averaging 19 and 19. That's just dumb. Like, who the hell told Andre Drummond it's okay to grab that many rebounds? Because it's not okay. Like, dude, you just need 12. 19, you're just trying too hard. My one thing with him, I wish he was a little better of a rim protector, weirdly enough. At least in the block shots department. Kawhi Leonard, because his defense is still god tier, and the second that you have the ball in your hand, you're just instantly like, where the hell is Kawhi, so I know not to go in that direction. But now he's over 20 points per game. 21 points, about 7 rebounds, and I mean, he's the Spurs' best player. That's pretty easy to tell. He's got to be the best two-way player in the league right now, just simply because his defense is so damn good. There's another guy coming in this discussion very shortly who has something to say about that, however. Next, Blake Griffin, because his scoring has been up. But the one thing with Blake, I think right now he's averaging 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's fantastic, man. It really is. And finally, speaking of two-way players, Paul George. Paul frickin' George. Have you seen this guy's numbers this season? Hold on, let me tell you. You know how good of a defender he is. 25 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds, 44 from the field, 43 from 3. Holy hell, Paul George. You know, right before he got injured, you could tell he was ready to take that next step to really being a top 10 player. Paul George is a top 10 player, guys, and he might be top 5. So between Paul George, Blake Griffin, Kawhi Leonard, and Andre Drummond, who is the 5th best player in the NBA? I got no frickin' clue, but I'm sliding towards Paul George. I'm serious. That is incredible. Like, this guy... I'm sorry, I'm just gonna geek out over Paul George, but he has been amazing this season. And shout out to the Pacers for figuring out their really weird offense. So that's it for the discussion part of the video. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Demarcus Cousins, Paul George. Top 5. If you want to show, if you want to do Blake, Kawhi, Andre, it's all fine. And now let me just say, tomorrow, Friday, will probably be the last Celtics episode. I think we're going to sum up the series tomorrow. Originally I was going to do a rebuild, then I realized it doesn't make sense to do a rebuild and everybody already knows basically the whole story. So we're going to do one beefy video showcasing the entire NBA Finals against the Denver Nuggets. We beat the Knicks, just BTW. I think the Celtics series ran its course, so yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it.